We continue to make progress, pushing ISIL back from territory that it controlled.
Daesh is unequivocally losing ground, losing leaders, losing fighters, losing cash.
The progress we're making against Daesh, it's real, it's serious, and it's committed.
There's been a lot of talk about whether we are winning the fight against ISIS, that the terrorists have lost territory and are losing their will to fight. Also warnings, there's still a very real and present danger. We're here in Baghdad to get a clearer picture of what's really going on. And for that, we got exclusive access to the American troops working alongside Iraqis as they take the fight to ISIS. It was a familiar and sobering routine this week. I have flown on Black Hawk helicopters over Iraq with Gary Valesky countless times over the years during Iraq's darkest days, but neither of us expected to be back again. Valesky, now a major general, is commander of the land forces in the fight against ISIS, forces which include close to 5,000 Americans. This is Valesky's fourth deployment in this war, but this is a new battle. Is it a different enemy?
It is. It is a different enemy. This enemy that we're facing today, make no mistake, is out there to attack everyone. We saw it in Paris, we saw it in Brussels, we've seen it in California.
The fight to stop that enemy right here in the desert of Al-Assad Air Base in western Iraq, ISIS country. Did you imagine you'd be back in Iraq?
Not Iraq, ma'am.
It's been very busy, very dynamic, much different than it was at previous times.
Dynamic, to say the least. We saw for the first time up close American troops on the ground taking direct aim at the terrorist group. Backing up Iraqi forces outside the base, and they certainly don't stop for General Valesky to give interviews.
The change now is they're out of the fight. That's some sound of freedom right there.
Freedom from the threat of ISIS remains a challenge nearly 2 years after the militants overran large swaths of Iraq and Syria. But General Valesky says with the help of U.S. forces, the Iraqis have ISIS on defense.
Every day they lose terrain and they're not regaining anything. And so that's really what's different.
And the Iraqi security forces did score a major victory against ISIS in Ramadi, the capital of Iraq's largest province. But as we drove towards that restive region, we saw the cost of the fight. We can see all of the destruction as we drive, and if you look way off into the distance in the tree line, you can see areas ISIS still holds. The destruction sprawls in every direction. Schools crushed, bridges left in pieces. Even after watching more than a decade of conflict here, the extent of this damage is stunning. These before and after satellite images make so clear what was lost here. A bustling, thriving city 1 year ago, today in ruins. 1 million people called Ramadi home when ISIS rolled through 1 year ago this week. Civilians fled in waves. Iraqi forces had to be evacuated by helicopter.
This is the first place that Daesh came into Ramadi and got hold of the neighborhood. This used to be a school.
Al-Anbar University, once filled with thousands of students, was turned into ISIS headquarters. It would be 8 months before Iraqi troops backed by American air power would take it back. Ferocious artillery fire forced ISIS out as Iraqi forces planted their flag once more. The city may be liberated, but people here are far from safe. It's estimated that this city has more unexploded bombs, unexploded ordnance than any place on Earth. Only some 15,000 families have been able to return. This family struggles to accept their new reality. How hard will life be going forward? What is next? Maybe it'll be more difficult, says this father. We want this place to be rebuilt. Our homes are all destroyed, our cars gone. It's up to a crew of just 40 Americans contracted by the State Department to defuse thousands of bombs and booby traps ISIS left behind.
Do not pick anything up. Do not move anything.
You got it. The bomb technicians of Janus Global Operations prefer to work in anonymity, but their job is crucial.
But what you see coming out of the jugs is homemade explosive. There's a couple pressure plates that were pulled up. Yeah. And you can see they're very small. It doesn't take a lot of weight. So those would be either set for vehicles or persons.
Hundreds and hundreds of them.
Yes, and this is just the ones they found in this local area.
It could take years, maybe decades, to clear Ramadi, and the road ahead could be even tougher.
Ramadi is Iraq's third largest city, but the next challenge is taking back Mosul, the second largest city, and it will be much more difficult than retaking this.
Mosul has been under ISIS control 2 years after Iraqi forces essentially gave up.
Are you confident this time that they can face the challenge?
Well, I think you've seen some examples today. When they get out to the battlefield, they're ready for their mission.
This Iraqi Special Forces commander told me they are ready. Should we expect that Mosul will fall by the end of the year? The Iraqi Prime Minister and the Commander-in-Chief, said the general, said 2016 we will liberate Mosul. But like in Ramadi,
3, 2, 1, pickle.
U.S. air power will be key. Of major concern here, avoiding civilian casualties caused by airstrikes. The U.S. and Iraqi forces don't always see eye to eye on that risk.
And when you say the Iraqis have a little looser idea of what they'll go after,
It's their country.
but
So,
what would they go after that we wouldn't?
they're willing to destroy any building, mosques, schools, whatever else. I mean, they don't want to do that, but they're more willing to do that when they see something happening. When we look at a target within our rule of engagement, we can't strike it, and we tell them, well, I'm sorry, we can't hit that. It does cause some frustration.
The Iraqi forces hope for even more airstrikes in the future.
What more do you need from the Americans?
Air strike, good air strike.
You want more airstrikes?
Yes, very important.
It's important. Are they not doing enough?
No, good.
They're good.
But always we need more.
You need more.
Especially in Mosul. And
in Mosul. But whether the battle for Mosul is this year or next, real success against ISIS, or Daesh as they call it, will take the military and the next president a very long time to achieve.
How would you define success here?
Well, success for us is Daesh doesn't occupy and stick their flag in any terrain. It's getting Daesh out of these cities and getting the Iraqis to be at a point where they're secure in Iraq.
That security will continue to come at a price, and it may be a long road ahead. Our thanks especially to the 101st Airborne Division and particularly Major General Valesky.